Hi everybody, Big Twinkie here, and today we are going over the unlicensed nuclear accelerator, the positron collider, the Proton Pack. And first off, I want to show you the original DIY pack, meaning that I made it from dollar store parts completely from scratch. You know, I had to cut up some wood, and as you can see, it's kind of in disarray right now. Let me give you a better angle of it. The only thing I didn't, by the way, make from scratch, well, no, let me rephrase that. I did originally make the Alice frame out of PVC pipe. You can make this whole thing from scratch, obviously. So the Alice frame, I made PVC pipe, with elbow tubes here and at the bottom, and then going through the middle, so it was nice and tight. But even the PVC pipes, eventually I had problems with, so I just bought your Alice frame online that you can get, because these never really have a problem. They hold up for a long time. They're really strong, and if I ever wanted to make like another pack, or if I ever wanted to make like a slime blower or something, I could always use this. Even though the slime blower Alice pack, I don't even know if they're called Alice frames or whatever, is slightly different. But I could probably modify the shoulder pads to make it, because that's the main difference, is the shoulder pads. They kind of like click together and so on and so forth. But anyway, so what I did is I traced the frame of the pack like this on some sheet metal. Now I don't have this anymore, but I just made another one just so you can see what it looked like. And this is where I started. Then I think I got Stefan Otto's plans off of GB Fans, and I made a template. Okay? And then on top of the base of the metal, I made another base of wood to build it up, also so I could screw things into it and stuff like that. And this thing might fall apart in front of us right now, because I'll tell you a story in a second. But so the first thing I got was I made the bottom part here, this part. Okay, and how I did that was the bottom piece of wood, and then I made the piece of wood that you just saw from here. I made a piece of wood about that size, and the thickness I forget at this point. I think I made it maybe like 1.25 inches, it looks like. Yeah, this part in between, meaning here, I made out of foam, because I didn't want this thing to be brutally heavy. It is very heavy, probably almost the same weight as my real Proton Pack, or not real but traditional. And the next part was this cake pan. Now ideally I wanted to find an 8-inch cake pan, but I couldn't easily find one at the time, and I'm kinda like, I rush things. Well, I used to. I don't rush things as much as I used to. But I saw this one, which I believe is a 10-inch spring form pan, and I got that and I used that. It was kind of tricky getting all of the holes cut in there for like the spots where the red lights come out. So I used a circular blade to cut out the holes, and then I cut a hole here for where this PVC pipe could be the air filter. This really needs to be dusted off, because this thing is very old now. And then I'll show you on the bottom here, you'll see I have these lights. These are like $1 at the dollar store. You could just like press them on and they'll run. They still work, actually. That's pretty impressive. And the reason I wanted the lights, even though they don't like circle or, you know, alternate, the reason I wanted them is because on the cake pan, I glued down these round parts and I put a red lens right underneath them. So when the lights were on, see, getting this, there we go. When the lights were on, they would shine through. Oh, don't want to lose you. When the lights were on, they would shine right through the lens, which looked pretty good when it was cleaner. So I also cut a hole out of this side over here, where the ribbon goes. Now this isn't the exact ribbon that they used in the film, because that was really hard to find, and it was like 50 bucks on GB Fans, so I didn't want to spend that money. So my grandpa eventually found this for me, which worked out pretty good, I think. So getting back to the actual face of the pack, there was nothing that I could find that looked like the bumper at all. So what I did is I found these plastic, hard plastic things that I could bend a little bit, and it became the frame. So I screwed those in here, 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 and here. But they were very thin. So what I did from there is I took bits of cardboard and kind of laminated them to the size that they needed to be, and just wrapped them in electrical tape. So that's what this is. It's cardboard and electrical tape. Now on one side, I think it was that side, this is the part that's broken off now, yeah. On one side I actually attached it with Velcro instead of like how I did it on this side, which I believe was just screwed on. So I could actually access the inside of this if I needed to change the lights or do something. And then the final part on this one was this nipple ring, which I think is actually just the socket for a light bulb that I spray painted silver. So that worked out really good. Moving up the pack a little bit more, you have the cups. That's a half cup measurement. I think that's a quarter cup measurement that I put on the base here, and I just screwed it right down, because this is more PVC pipe and this actually goes right here, as you can see. And then, yeah, let's put that back where it was. And so more of the details came over here. Now these little black parts that stick out on the Proton Pack, these were just dowel rods, you know, pieces of wood that I screwed in from the back. And take a quick look at the side now. These are bubble bottles, you know, like where you have the little ring that you stick in. So these are bubble bottles, you know, easy enough. I screwed from this part, from this electric box here, down, so these get held. And then these are those glasses holders, like these, like I have right here actually. And they resemble the wires close enough, you know, and they came in red and blue, so that's fine. So I hot glued them into here. They're pretty solid, and all right. So I had them down here, and I had them glued in to one of these little side. You know what? I don't even remember what these plastic things are on the side. They came from like the art store or Michael's or something, and I just looked like something that was on the side of the Proton Pack, gave it that, you know, segmented look, so I used it. A lot of this is stuff that I just was walking around a store or my basement, and I'm like, oh, that's good. So other side real quick is for the clippered part here, the pneumatic piece. This is just a medicine bottle, and then on top I found this little rubbery thing to kind of cap it off, so I did. Doesn't it look, you know, screen accurate like most of this? And this was a gray flex cable that I tried spray painting, but the spray paint doesn't really stick to this. I never used gray again after that because I was kind of pissed that it didn't stay. As you can see on the Neutrino wand, I used black. Yep, as you can see, this thing was destroyed, and that'll be the last thing I explain how this happened. It was a total disaster. It broke my heart at the time. But hold on. I'm trying to keep it sort of in oil. Now this was a giant bubble bottle up here. And then beneath it was another electrical box with a couple of like medicine caps. This is an electric box. This is an electric box. Now what fell off before was the sniffer box up here. And a lot of the things I used, to bring it down again. Well, a lot of the things I used on the sniffer box were just, this one I tried to put together with wood. Which it worked out, but it's not the exact proper shape, so it's okay. And this actually is like one of those curtain rods that you just use to pull your curtains back and forth. And this yellow cord right here, I don't remember where exactly I got from. I think it was like in a box of stuff that I had, and it was part of a filtration system for an aquarium. So let me show you the back of the pack now. Well, the top I should say. Oh! I hope nothing broke on that. Nothing more, at least. So, actually, let me pick that up real quick. Okay, good. Nothing major broke on that. Yeah, the wand was really, really painstaking and hard to make, but actually, I was surprised with how decent the wand came out, honestly. But I'll get to the wand. I will get to the wand, I promise. Anyway, so here we have another one of these bottles, and I just kind of cut it in half and attached it here, where the black wire coming from this dowel rod I tied to the ribbon cable, and then over here I screwed into a piece of metal, and it looks okay. Electrical box. The knob up here is just another medicine cap, and there's supposed to be like a flat part up here that I think a warning label went on, but if I was to rebuild it I would make it more accurate, obviously. Well, that's pretty much it for the pack's front and sides. So I'll just show you now the wand real quick. I used black cable on this, so I didn't have to worry about the paint coming off. Now, the wand, I think, looks okay for the most part. It needs to be reinforced in a lot of places, but the wand was the one thing that I had a really hard time finding anything that was the right shape for the base, for the core, you know what I mean? So I had to make it out of all wood. You know, so like, I cut this piece of wood as the base, and then I cut this piece of wood on top of it, and then I had to cut a small strip here, and then put a dowel rod here, and then a piece of wood here, and I had to put a piece of metal here, and I had to use a metal binder to make the attachment piece. This is the bottom piece here is a metal piece that I cut, and then these are plastic bottle caps that I screwed into this. This is actually rubber, red rubber that I just marked over. This is a drill bit that I drilled into. This is a tiny piece of hammer of a nail that I just wrapped this piece around so many times and then put a cap on. So I just put some glue on that so it'll hold. The handle and the extension here is all PVC pipe, and I got some bike handles for both parts. And then for the switches, they were actually... Where were the switches from? They might have been from some toy that I saw, and I'm like, oh, those switches will be useful, and it was cheap enough. It was in like the dollar store, so I figured, alright, let me try those. I had no green... Okay, I had no green wire. I had a problem with finding green wire, so what I did was I found, you know, something that was sort of green. It's like neon yellow. Oh, and this part here, yeah, this is wood. I had to cut that and use a really low circular saw to kind of get that, you know, heat, what are these called? What are these called? Heat sink. To get that heat sink look. And then finally, on the tip, I used really thick tubing to go in there to give it that glassy look that they have. Now, I do have the little crescent that goes around this part and the wiring, but I didn't even bother to bring it because it's so hard to keep it on. And here's more rubber that's attached by wood. I'm sorry, that's attached by a piece of metal going through it, so that probably will never come off. There's very sturdy stuff in here, and at the same time there's very loose stuff in here. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, this is from a level in here, just to kind of make it look like, you know, the thing that goes up and down on the thrower. But that's pretty much it. And then, of course, when I was done with it, I attached it to the Alice frame. And, you know, it was really sturdy for a while. But here's what happened. I went to St. Patrick's Day 2000, I think it was 2017. And what happened was there was a bunch of military guys there, all drunk on the side of the street. And I guess this guy was either ridiculously drunk or just a tremendous fan of Ghostbusters. Either way, I didn't pay it any mind. I thought, hey, whatever, you know. Oh, this was the crescent part. I just cut this out of wood. And these are what those shapes on the side of the pack, you know, were. But anyway, this guy came, and, you know, I'm 6'4", I'm pretty tall, you know, and I was a lot more muscular back then, too. I probably weighed in excess of like 250 pounds or so, you know, I was a gym rat. But, you know, I've been, you know, whatever. You don't need to hear about my problems. This guy came and gave me a bear hug, like squeezed the life out of me. And he was a much shorter guy, so I guess having the center of gravity, I didn't really figure what was going to happen. And he crushed this thing into a million pieces. Like, the whole thing just boom off my back, and I had to like carry it. I had to find a store on the side of the road, and I had to get it a garbage bag, and I had to basically carry it for the rest of the parade, which was really kind of made me feel shitty, like, because, you know, the parade is a lot of fun, and you want to be able to, like, you know, display your stuff and have fun and give high fives to people on the side of the road, but I didn't get to do that. So, and this happened really early in the parade, because the Ghostbusters usually go last. But anyway, here's the real deal. I'm going to adjust the camera because this is a little too big for you to see everything. And I might turn that light off. So there's no glare in front of your face. Is that better? Yeah, okay, good. So, this is my Novos pack that I got from a fellow GB from New Jersey. And with this, actually, he gave me Ecto goggles and I believe the MT500 radio, which I've already reviewed. So, this I basically got when I was just fed up repairing this thing, because I repaired it so many times, and I'm probably going to repair it again like an idiot. But anyway, I've already showed you pretty much all of the parts, but now you can see the differences, right? So what I would do is I would just, to make the lights, you saw what I did. Like the blue light here, let me turn it on actually. To do the blue light, for example, what I would do is I actually drilled a hole in the back, which I don't think I had the light anymore, but put a blue filter on this, and then what I did is I had a small handheld like little security light, and it was just about the length of the side here, and then I would put that in. Then for this part here, the little bridge, I don't know what the technical name of some of these are, I had something that I found that's very similar to it in my garage, and I attached that. Okay, now these are pretty stiff, they're about the thickness of those little glasses holders, supporters, whatever you want to call them. And what I love about this thing, it's one of my favorite things. Ah, did this thing just lose juice? Oh, well, poo. Alright, well, let's see if I can at least get the Matty. This is always hard to get off, kids. I'm sorry. Oof. So, this is old, so forgive me if I can't get it to work right away. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It just died on me in the middle of the video. Oh, it made some noise. Okay. So, that's basically... This is Mattel's version. And it's pretty badass. Bob, who is from Carnivorous Creations, makes a really, really cool version of this, where you can actually turn the handle and it has glass or some type of glass-like thing, and it comes out just like when they go heat them up, make them hard, you know, so that's cool. But if you hold this and you do the intensify button, I'm trying to do it again. Come on. Alright, well, you saw it once. I gotta charge this thing again, I guess. Alright, well, the battery's low. Sorry, guys. But anyway, this was one of Mattel's things that they made. So they made the goggles, trap, gun, and what am I forgetting? Goggles, trap, gun, and alright, I'm drawing a blank. I have no idea. But this thing, the thing that I really, really, really love about it, honestly, is all the signatures. And I got a few on it since, but it was actually given to me with some signatures already on it. So I'm actually going to go pick up the camera for a minute here and show you some of the signatures. So here we have, there it is. Here we have Ernie Hudson, which I think is great. Nope, that's on the other side. Now, for those of you who are familiar with I didn't have my coffee this morning, guys. Who are familiar with you know, Army of Darkness, things like that. This is Ash, the one and only, right there. Drawing a blank on his name, I'm so sorry. But I got his signature at a library meet and greet where he was, you know, talking and giving like a little speech, and I walked up with the Proton Pack, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" You know, and I got my picture with me and my brother and him, and it was really funny. But yeah, I've loved Sam Raimi's movies, and it was really cool to have the signature put on here. So over here we have probably the lamest signature, but arguably probably what people would say is the coolest. Where is it? I can't even find it, it's so goddamn small. There it is. Okay, so here we have Bill Murray's signature. I don't know, I've looked up a lot of signatures on him. This one came with the pack, so I have to just believe the story, I guess, that was told for me from the guy who gave me this. Supposedly, that's Bill Murray. Anyway, you know, this might be my favorite signature on the pack because this guy was a comic book legend, absolute comic book lover, and this is John Schnepp right here, and I asked him to write "Stay Sweaty" because that was one of his you know, catchphrases, I guess you could say. Anyway, sadly, John Schnepp passed away actually a few months after I got this at Comic-Con 2018. He was one of my favorite people, and it really makes me sad that he passed away. I believe there's one more on here. I thought Ivan Reitman's signature was on here. If I could just find it. Where is Ivan Reitman? Okay, you know what? It might be on here, and I might just have forgotten where it is. I did not get it personally. This is another one of those inherited signatures. You know what? I know there's one more on here. I'm just having trouble finding it. Alright guys, it's not that big of a deal. I didn't get this for the signatures, honestly. I'm not too wowed by them, you know, and it's not like I ever intend on selling it or anything. But, oh yeah, Bruce Campbell, that's the name. I don't know why it's escaped me for so long, but that was Bruce Campbell up top. Ah, dang, I really thought Reitman was on here somewhere. Alright guys, so that's about it. Appreciate you checking it out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I hope you liked my little Proton Pack adventure here. And I am out. Hit that bell if you want notifications of the further videos. I think coming up is going to be probably another commentary, because I think that was a lot of fun and it'll give me a chance to bring more people on. So what I'm probably going to do is do Ghostbusters 2 next, probably with my friend Nick again, and if his brother's around we might do that too. Alright? Have a good day guys.